What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jay Rich. It's Wednesday, December the 13th, and here are my NBA best bets presented by Pinnacle Sportsbook, your trusted sportsbook for the past 25 years. Last week, we went with the Road Dogs, and it wasn't so great, but do not fear, because we have some great bets for you on tap today. So let's get into the NBA best bets right now. Great slate on tap today, and I'm going to be going to a favorite of mine for my first pick. We are going to be taking the Houston Rockets minus 6.5 against the Memphis Grizzlies. We took Dillon Brooks' over points when he faced off against the Memphis Grizzlies, and the Houston Rockets won that game, by the way, by 20 points on the road. The key stat here with the Houston Rockets is that they are 9-1-1 against the spread at home. They've won their last 3 games. They've covered each of those games as well. So coming in the game against Memphis, being very hot at home, I'm loving and trusting the number here for the Houston Rockets. I've talked about the key numbers. 7 is that number. So 6.5 is a great line. I would take it up 7.5, but if you can get it at 6.5, it is a phenomenal line. Trust the data, trust the Rockets, because they have been great. And Memphis, even though they've rattled off a couple of wins lately, they're still not quite there yet. I really trust Houston. I really like them at home, and so I'm taking them to cover the 6.5 points. So let's get into our second game that I do really like, because it's an interesting spot tonight for the Brooklyn Nets. They're facing off against a Phoenix Suns team that could be with Kevin Durant tonight. But the biggest thing with the Nets is they've covered in 7 of their last 8 games. They're coming off a day of rest, while the Suns are playing on a back-to-back after playing Golden State last night. So you have Brooklyn on 1 day of rest. And did you guys know Brooklyn Nets are 10-3 against the spread when coming off a day of rest? So that number looks great for them against a Suns team that could be with one of their best players back. But if they don't get Kevin back, then you have a situation where you have a much better matchup for the defense of the Brooklyn Nets that's been playing phenomenal, and they've been scoring great as well. So I really like the Nets team to just rally together for Mikal Bridges and get a potential win against the Suns, but I do really like them to cover in this matchup. The 2.5 points, obviously very close. 1-score game at that. So someone's probably going to win the game, and maybe it's not the Nets, but they can still cover, and that's the reason why I am taking them against the spread. I think it's a great matchup for the Nets, and I really like this spot for them. If this gets any wider, I think it only becomes even more valuable for the Nets, who are just a great team, can rally together, put up a good performance, and get a big dub on the road. That day of rest versus what we're seeing from the Suns on a back-to-back, that could be the difference in this contest. So give me the Nets plus 2.5. I think it's a great spot for them today. And the last bet that we are going with, I'm going to be going to Indiana and taking the Indiana Pacers up against the Milwaukee Bucks. So this is a very interesting spot where the Indiana Pacers 2-0 against the Bucks this year. And that's the part that sort of scares me just a little bit, because you're going to have a very hungry Bucks team, and that's the biggest problem. They've already lost 2 games to Indiana, so they're wanting to get a win at home against the Pacers. The good thing, though, the Pacers are 5-3 against the spread on the road this season, and 9-1 when they're on 1 day of rest. Now, the Bucks are also on 1 day of rest, but at home, they're 4-7-1 against the spread. They've played in some big spread games against some bad opponents and weren't able to cover those big numbers. So even this number being 6.5, 7, I don't really like the Bucks to cover this one. I think it's going to be a close game, and I truly do give Indiana a shot. I mean, they've already beat this team twice this year. That could drive a very hungry and motivated Milwaukee team, but it also could just mean that the Pacers have their number. So give me the Pacers to cover the 6.5. I think it's a great line, and Tyrese Halliburton going to put on a show again tonight for Pacers fans. Dude has been phenomenal. I'm riding with that man, that bad man, Tyrese. Give me the Pacers to cover the 6.5. So that's it for my NBA best bets for today. You can follow me on Twitter or X at your boy Jay Rich, and make sure you're following all of Pinnacle's socials before you head out of here. Quick recap: we're taking the Houston Rockets to cover the 6.5 points against the Memphis Grizzlies. We're taking the Brooklyn Nets to cover the 2.5 against the Phoenix Suns, and we're taking the Indiana Pacers to cover the 6.5 against the Milwaukee Bucks. Not all road dogs today. We do have a home favorite, a Rocket at that, and I do really like all 3 of these games. If you want a little bit of a bonus pick, I do like the Lakers minus 2.5 against the Spurs. The issue is Lakers on a back-to-back, so rest potentially could be an issue. Maybe we don't get a full Lakers squad, but if we do, Lakers are probably going to blow out the Spurs. You heard it here first, but if they don't, Remember, it was a bonus bet and take the other 3. But thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, bet smart and bet Pinnacle. Good luck tonight, and I'll see you guys next week. I'm out. Peace.